just woke up when I was 17 and I couldn't feel anything from my waist down to my toes.
I had to kind of accept your reality, start learning how to move with a wheelchair.
I never recovered. I was the only patient in that section in that hospital that didn't walk out of that hospital.
Were there moments that you didn't see a way out of it, like my life is over?
I started taking X amount of tablets to try and not be here anymore. And then when I became so into the suicidal intention, the suicide attempts just got worse and worse every single time. I've closed motorway down for a certain amount of hours because I was on the other side of the railing. I've been brought back to life. I've been resuscitated on. Yeah, it's crazy when I talk about it as well because it feels like it was it doesn't feel like it was me.
Nobody had hopes, not even your family.
My family thought I was going to be the next person to succeed. I'd lost 5 friends to suicide, unfortunately.
Oh. I think in a way, society failed also your friends and failed you. Hello, welcome to another episode of Everybody's Lost podcast. I'm Verónica Muñoz Martínez, journalist and your host, and today I want you to imagine that one day you wake up with half of your body paralyzed. You have a life full of dreams and hopes, but from that day, you think your life is over. How would you feel? Maybe you feel shattered, you feel sad, you feel depressed, but there's hope. And Poppy Mai is the clear example of it. She is a fitness influencer, athlete, runner, and many more things, and so inspiring. I hope her story of resilience inspires you, or if you also have some sort of disability, you feel less alone in your journey. So welcome, Poppy.
Hello.
How are you
Nice.
today?
I'm good. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I'm so glad that you came. You texted me because you saw me in this festival, Wellnessy Festival, a fitness
Wellnessy,
festival.
yeah.
And today you are off after this podcast to a race.
Yeah, I've got a half marathon on Sunday,
So
and I haven't really trained for it. So I saw a 10K in London and I was like, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose. Let's do it. Let's do a 10K after a podcast.
Let's do it.
Why
not? And honestly, I would say I want to be like you when I'm older, but actually you are younger than me. How old are you?
I'm 24.
So when did you first get this diagnosis?
So I was diagnosed with a condition called FND, functional neurological disorder, when I was 17 years old. I basically just woke up when I was 17 and I couldn't feel anything from my waist down to my toes. And it's been like that constant for 7.5 years now.
Yeah, so how was your life before, like a normal teenager?
I was studying at college. I wanted to go on and get a degree in photography. I wanted to go to university to do photography. And when obviously that all happened, I never managed to finish college. I had to drop out of college, so I never completed the second year. Never got to uni, and it was just kind of like my life was it just felt like it was over, to be honest with you.
That's what you thought at the beginning. So how was that first moment when you got the diagnosis at the hospital?
I didn't really know how to process it, to be honest with you. I was told, we don't know what's wrong with you. We're going to refer you to a neurologist. And then they basically said, there's not much we can do. I got sent to a neuro rehabilitation centre where you kind of learn to do like physio, get back on your feet. Some people learn how to walk again. And I never recovered. I was the only patient in that section in that hospital that didn't walk out of that hospital. But all of the other patients that I met there did. And that just took a massive toll on my mental health.
Of course, you had hopes that you would be like them, but
yeah,
you
100%. I had hopes that I was, I was in there for 3 months, and all the nurses and doctors before I went in there said, you're going to get your legs back again, you're going to be walking again, and that never happened. So, yeah,
For
it
how
was
long
very rough.
were you at the hospital?
3 months
3 months,
residential, St Queen Mary's in Roehampton.
And
Yeah.
you had to kind of accept your reality, start learning how to move with a wheelchair.
Yeah. So halfway through kind of the program, like I say, you learn physio, how to, get back up again, core strength, standing, things like that. Halfway through the program, we're not really seeing much progress. So then they started teaching me how to use a wheelchair properly. So things like how to go up and down curbs, how to, do things safely in the wheelchair. And I think at that moment I kind of started to realise, I was like, this is going to be longer than I expected. So that was very hard on my mental health.
Yeah, and I think when you were at the hospital, you started to accept that. Then when you came back to the real world, did you go back to college or?
I tried, but it was too much. I couldn't do it. Do it.
How did your family and friends react to it?
I think they was in as much shock as I was, to be honest with you. They didn't really know how to cope. We ended up having to move out because the place that we was in at the time was private, and we couldn't get an extension on the house because the landlord just didn't agree to it. So we actually ended up having to move out of the property and find a new place just so that I could get around easily.
Yeah, there were a lot of changes that you had to make. And
so many changes.
Were your school friends, supportive of that?
I had two friends from secondary school that have stayed with me till this day, but the majority of my friends left me.
I'm sorry.
There was a birthday party. I was best friends with the particular person. It was a surprise birthday party. I found out about the party the day after it had happened, when all the photos went on Facebook.
Wow.
And I messaged the organiser, said, where was my invite? The wheelchair wouldn't have fitted through the door. That is what they said in response.
They just could have told you, or they could, if they were good friends, they could have made changes just for you to
exactly. They didn't want to be friends with a disabled person anymore. I lost so many friends. So many friends.
You felt excluded at that time, like nobody.
100%.
And how did that make you feel at that time?
I just felt so isolated for the first 6 months after becoming a wheelchair user. I did nothing but stay in my room. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to do anything. I became so depressed with just everything. I couldn't cope with it. I really couldn't cope with it.
I'm really sorry, and that must be so hard for you.
It was, yeah.
Honestly, and like all those moments when you had depression and everything, were there moments that you didn't see a way out of it? Like, my life is over. I have no friends. I'm here, and
100%. Like, that was kind of, so the first 6 months of, being in the wheelchair, I thought I was depressed in that moment, but it was when I came out of the rehab centre that the level of mental health that I had was just on a whole another level. To be honest with you, I was constantly trying to take my own life because I just thought, well, how can everyone else recover? How can everyone else, get out of there, walk, don't need a wheelchair, don't need crutches, don't need anything to get around, and I'm stuck in the same position that I was when I came in there. I was like, how's that even possible? And I just thought, well, it hasn't worked, so what's the point? I think it was kind of becoming more of a reality that I would be in the wheelchair long term, and I think that's what really messed up my mental health at the time.
Yeah, and if you want to share with us, of course you have to. Like, how were those suicidal thoughts? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, you didn't see a way out.
I didn't see a way out. it sounds crazy. I started taking X amount of tablets to like try and not be here anymore. And then when I became so into the suicidal intention, the suicide attempts just got worse and worse every single time. I've closed motorway down for a certain amount of hours because I was on the other side of the railing. I've been brought back to life. I've been resuscitated on. Yeah, it's crazy when I talk about it as well, because it feels like it was it doesn't feel like it was me. It feels like it was a different person. It's really strange when you talk about it, because was that really me? Like, but it was. It's my story. Like,
That's what
I went through that for 4 years constantly.
4 years.
4 years, yeah.
That made you, and I think thank you so much for sharing this story, like sharing this, being open. I'm really thankful for that, to have guests like you, because I think it's really important to talk about this, like 100%. So people don't feel alone in these thoughts. But that's what made you and made you stronger. Because look at you now, you're going to a race. So after those 4 years, those really dark 4 years, what made you come back to life and come back to be happy and have a purpose in life?
It's crazy. Like, I was in the system for such a long time. Like, I think I was in the system total 5 years, and I was constantly being sectioned with police, with paramedics, in hospital for all sorts of different things. And I think once I got to the point that I did, I just kind of had this, like, it was just kind of a switch went on in my head, and it was like, no, I don't want to survive this anymore. I want to actually start living my life. And one of the quotes that I follow to this day is, stop surviving your life and start living your life. And I guess from then on, I started recovery. I did everything possible to try and get myself in a better place. I was still going to the gym, of course, but I increased it. I found a passion through my photography. I started content creation again. And I finally discharged myself from the services. And do you know what? As crazy as it sounds, that's not usually the best idea, for me, it was the best thing I ever did. Saying, I don't need to be under anyone's care anymore. I want to do this by myself.
I'm in charge of my life.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be in charge of my life and my recovery, and I don't need professionals to tell me otherwise. And everyone was very scared when I said I wanted to discharge myself.
Unsupervised and everything.
Everyone was very scared that I was going to go backwards when I wasn't under the services. It was the best decision I ever made.
So do you remember the day when you decide, okay, I'm done? Because there's always like that day or that lightning moment.
100%. So I had a phone call that week with my care coordinator, and it was just the constant questions. How's your mood been lately? Have you had any dark thoughts lately? And it was like, I was in a good place. I was stable. But that was kind of just, I was starting to think things. I was like, actually, no, maybe I did have a bad day the other day. And it was like, that was not the case. It was just like constantly reminding me that something's wrong with me. And I just got to the point where I was just, I'm so sick of this. Like, I just want to go out there and actually start enjoying my life. Like, I feel like for that 4 years that I struggled so badly, I feel like that's 4 years of my life I will never get back again. But then at the same time, it's made me the person that I am today. Exactly. And I'm so much stronger now.
Exactly. That's what made you so strong to this day. So also, do you think like seeing other people like you running and doing, that's how you got inspired?
So I did my first 10K, I think it was like 2 years ago now.
Wow.
And I would have never dreamed of doing a 10K, even if I was in a wheelchair or even if I wasn't in a wheelchair.
You weren't an athlete before, right?
Yeah, I wasn't an athlete before, but I am now. So I did the 10K and I got the medal, and it was just that feeling. I was like, oh, this feels so good. I want more medals. I want to do more races. And my friend, who is also a wheelchair user, just completed the London Marathon. And I was like, oh, like I've just done a 10K, but I want to do the London Marathon now. And obviously that's a massive jump. That's a huge jump from doing a 10K to a 42K.
You have to be delusional, and
but
you
got to do it. So I got a place for the London Marathon in 2024 and completed the London Marathon.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much. And from then on, I don't know, I carry on doing races. I carry on doing fitness things. I'm now obviously working with quite a few brands here and there, which is just insane. And I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
I just started with a 10K, to be honest with you.
The power that you have, like we were talking this before, that I found the word disabled a bit like pejorative, like bad, like I don't know, because disabled is like disabled. But actually you are more able than so many people than me, because I can't run. I want to, so I got so inspired by you now.
Thank you.
And there's this, in the series Glee, they put this term handicapable, and it's true because you have like a handicap or you have like something, but it's not like you are not able to do it, right?
Yeah. The thing is with me, and people don't really understand this until they meet me. If you turn around and tell me you can't do that because you're in a wheelchair, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to do that just to prove you wrong. So when I told my mum I was doing the London Marathon, she was like, you can't do a marathon. Like, you can't do a marathon. I was like, watch me. Did I do the marathon? Yes, I did, Mum.
And your mum must be so proud of you.
She now just, if I tell her I'm doing a challenge, she's like, okay, you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you just go ahead, you do that. She knows not to say you can't do that.
Yeah.
And same with a lot of my friends as well. So I did the Great North Run as well last year. And boy, that was so hard. There's like 10 hills. It's half a marathon and it's like 10 hills. It's up in Newcastle. And my friend Rob, who's also a wheelchair user, who we did the 10K with first, he said, have you seen the hills? I was like, no, I haven't. And I'm not going to look into it. I'm just going to do it on the day. He was like, you're not going to be able to do that. I was like, watch me. And then I turned up the next week with a medal around my neck.
You see?
Exactly. I was like, yeah, what's next?
Well, like, but how did you get this strong mentality? Like, you think, like, because of all those 4 years, you went, like, so down, and so, like, now it's, like, you see life so beautiful, and, like, there's so much to do, right?
100%. I think because I was in such that dark place and I missed out on so many things, obviously I never got to university. I never finished college. I think now I'm just like, yeah, if there's a challenge, why not do it? Like, just take it on, do it, and just enjoy it, to be honest with you. It's just the atmosphere of just being here in life in general. Like, when I completed the London Marathon, I was pretty much crying at the end of that finish line because I'm like, I did that in my wheelchair, but I also did that because I decided to stay. I decided that I wanted to start recovery and to change everyone's perspective on my mental health.
Yeah, it's more than just running. It's a proof to yourself and to other
100%.
people and other people like you to tell them it's possible. And also, like you told me, you lost friends, but you gained so many.
I gained
thanks to
so many
this,
things.
right?
Yeah, this is the thing. I lost so much when I became disabled, but I also gained so much, and I'm so grateful for that. So grateful. The opportunities I've had, the brands that I work with, you know, just the challenges that I've managed to do, like, all because I carried on, or because I chose to stay and I chose to start sharing my story and obviously posting online. Like, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've had.
And do you think is like this diagnosis for you is like a rebirth? Like you are a whole new person, like life gave you another chance, and maybe like you have these dreams of going to college or doing, but now your dreams are much better.
Oh yeah, they're much bigger now. I can't lie to you. So like, when I went to go and get my race number for the London Marathon at the Expo, I turned up there and I saw this medal, and it was like, it's called the major, I think it's like the Major Star Medal or something like that. And it's 6 like kind of little medals into one medal, and it's huge. I said, how do you get that medal? Oh, we have to do 6 major marathons in the world. And I was like, okay, which ones are those? And she was like, well, London. And I was like, okay, well, I'm doing that very soon, so I'll complete that. Berlin, Tokyo, Chicago, and New York, and Boston. I was like, okay, is that all you have to do? She's like, yeah. And I was like, right, I'm going to get that medal next.
Are you going to
so
do that?
I'm now going to have to try and do
your plans?
more marathons.
Yeah.
That's my next challenge. Yeah, to do more.
You want to do it all around the world.
100%.
And, well, I'm sure like you are going to get the sponsorships because you go to work with amazing brands because you started your content, right?
Yeah, 100%. I never thought I would get to work with the brands that I work with, and it just feels like such a dream, to be honest, because I would have never thought I'd be working with those companies.
Yeah.
I would have never thought I would have been chosen, but I was, and I'm so grateful for it.
How was like the first brand that reached out to you? How did that feel?
The first brand was Free Soul, and I was already using their products for like years. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to work with you. And it was actually one of the first brands that connected with me because there was a 5K. They launched a new product. They did a 5K around London. I joined it, bearing in mind I didn't know whether it was going to work for me as a wheelchair athlete. But turned up, they had a ramp, everything was fine. And then the assistant manager was like, can we exchange details? And I was like, yeah, sure, like, let's do that. And from then on, we had these ongoing conversations, and they made sure every single event had a whole page of details of accessibility to make sure that any event that they hold is accessible and you can see that it's accessible. So from that first event, there was nothing around accessibility. I didn't know whether there was, a wheelchair toilet, wheelchair lift, wheelchair access in general.
It's like people, they just don't think about people with wheelchairs or disability. Now,
it's
so
crazy.
This data that actually 1/4 of the population in the UK, they have some sort of disability.
Yeah.
So how you don't consider them?
I know. And it's like, it still happens to this day.
So what are the main obstacles that you have for like being a wheelchair user? That because I want also people to know about this and change it or notice it.
I don't know where to begin with that one.
Yeah.
There's too many. Wow. I would probably say that the thing that I've struggled with the most access-wise is the tubes in London. Because I have the app, the TfL Go app, and there's a mode on there called Step Free. So you press that and it will show you all the stations that are wheelchair accessible and you can go to without any problems. There's lifts, there's level access, amazing. But when you press that button, no word of a lie, about 70% of the London tube stations disappear because they're not accessible. I have also had to deal with broken lifts before at tube stations, and the only way out of that station is an escalator. So it means in that kind of situation, and I've done it before and it was terrifying, you have to do the escalator. Unless you're going to then jump back on another tube, go the other direction and change somewhere else, you got to do the escalator. And that is not easy.
It's really dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. They don't
even notify about it.
Yeah. And then when I got to the top, the staff actually had a go at me. They said, you're not meant to use the escalator, health and safety. And I was like, well, I pushed the assistance button downstairs. No one came. And your lift's broken. So what am I meant to do? I was like, I can't walk. So what am I meant to do? They're like, well, you're not meant to do it. And I was like, well, maybe you should get your lift fixed.
Or notify if they told you this station, the lift is broken. So maybe you can have kind of like
an announcement or something when you're on the tube saying, just to let you know, this lift's broken. And then you don't have to then get off the tube and then deal with that situation. You can just carry on to the next stop and change that.
Like people, for example, in the streets that are like not so conscious or something that...
The amount of people I have had that have been, whether they give you a dirty look, whether they purposely get in your way. Like, I understand I'm like everyone else, but obviously I'm a bit lower down. But a lot of people don't have like awareness of what they're doing. So they could walk backwards.
Special awareness And right now with
Yeah.
the phones, everyone is so like zombies, and you have to
Yeah.
look, because I think it's so important to see someone like you, or maybe if someone had a heart attack or is in the floor, or they are like, the amount of times I've seen also like people crying on the floor or fainting, and people that just walk, like people, they need more spatial awareness to be
Yeah.
respectful.
100%. I've also been told to get out of lifts before as well. I've had people lean on my chair like it's like some sort of thing they can put their arm on, lean. And most recently, I was shopping and I was in a clothes shop, and someone moved me out of the way because obviously there's handles at the back of the wheelchair. The handles were up because I had shopping on the back, and my brakes went on because it was on a flat surface, but I just felt my wheelchair move forward, and I was like, that's strange. And there was a lady, and then she kind of rejected her arm back really quickly, and I was like, she moved me out the way because she wanted to access the area that I was in.
Instead of say like, excuse me.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
She didn't ask.
it's a part of yourself now,
me.
and it's like also like invading your space as well, like touching something that you don't allow.
Yeah. I've also had people try and sit on my lap as well for no reason. Like I was on the tube recently, and it was so busy, it was so cramped, and some guy just sat on my knee, and I was like, you can get off. I'm not a seat. Like,
What?
Yeah.
So sorry for that.
It's fine. It's not your fault. Yeah, you get some really, really strange interactions as a wheelchair user. The thing that I absolutely hate the most is you could be going down the street, you could be just, minding your own business, just doing your thing, and someone will come up to you and say, why are you in a wheelchair? I get it all the time.
It's like they are journalists, or they are in a podcast. It's like, you're a random person. I'm not going to respond. I'm going to respond to Veronica, not you.
So
like you have to respond to them.
I just come up with really stupid responses now. Like if someone asks me, I'll be like, look, I got trampled on by some elephants. Like most of the time I say, look, respectfully, it's not really your business. It's but I really want to know why you're in a wheelchair. I was like, I'm not asking your deepest traumatic secret, am I? So please don't ask that question. Like, it's such a personal question. It's usually when I'm in the lift as well, because if you're in the lift with a complete stranger, that lift journey up, whether you're going upstairs or downstairs, is enough time for them to ask, so what happened to you then? It's
they are like people, they are
humiliating.
really gossip. Like, do you wish like people just like notice you when you are on the street, but to be like considerate, but not in that term, like why, like to ask me what happened to me, like it's none of your business.
Yeah, it's not their business. That's the thing. Like I wouldn't go up to someone and ask, what's your deepest traumatic secret? Come on, tell me. Like, I want to know. They're going to be like, it's not your business. It's the same. It's literally the same. It's such a personal question. Obviously, I'm very open about it, and depending on the mood that I'm in, I will happily talk about the situation. But most of the time, I'm not just going to speak to a complete stranger and tell you, well, I'm in a wheelchair. Like, no.
Yeah.
Just leave me to do my shopping in peace.
Of course. And what would you tell to society, how to treat people on wheelchairs? What would you
I
tell
think
to
people
these
just need to be a bit more respectful, and there should be more boundaries. Like, if that person wants to talk about it, they want to talk about it. But you shouldn't randomly go up to someone who is disabled, whether I'm in a wheelchair or whether I have a walking stick. You shouldn't go up to them and say, well, what happened to you then? Because that's so personal, and that's just like invasion of privacy straight away. It's like, you're a complete stranger. Like, if it was my best friend, that's a little bit different, because I know them, I can trust them. I don't know what they're going to do with that information as well. Like, they could spread that round to whoever. Like, it's just... people need to respect wheelchair users so much more.
Yeah. And well, you also talked about accessibility and how sometimes you told me, we had an initial meeting just to get to know you, talk a bit, and you told me that you didn't see many run clubs that were wheelchair friendly or disabilities friendly. So that's why you decided to create your own one. You have your own run club. So
So I went to a few run clubs, and there was 2 occasions where things went wrong. So there was a 5K, and it was all planned out. I arrived, we started the 5K, we came up to this bridge. Everyone starts running up the stairs on this bridge and I'm left at the bottom. Then the organizer kind of looked around and was like, oh, like, everyone come back down, we're going to have to divert. And it was just really, really embarrassing because we had to stop. Then she had to divert. She had to find a new route for this 5K that would work for everyone. And a few people were kind of like, oh, you know, I don't really want to wait kind of thing. Like, it was just really, it was just really, really embarrassing. And then the other experience that I had they were too fast. I simply could not keep up. Mm-hmm. It was so difficult. I was so out of breath. I was like, this is not for me. Because the thing is with run clubs, they're meant to be enjoyable. You're meant to have fun. You know, you could bring music along. You could have snacks. Like, whatever it is. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be enjoyable. And I was not enjoying myself. And that's when I kind of came up with the idea of the roll and run club. I haven't today yet done an event for it. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get it out there. I'm trying to get the word around.
Well, so with this, we can share it.
100%. A lot of people were very, very interested when I posted about it. Mm-hmm. But that interest has gone completely down, and it's like the interest is just not there at the moment. Yeah. But it's definitely something I'm obviously looking into doing soon.
So if you're a wheelchair user, just join her.
Even if you're not a wheelchair user, even if you're just a slower runner,
if not,
the only people that will not be allowed is elite runners, because I don't want to deal with that. It's too much.
Usain Bolt, like, no.
Absolutely not.
Like Usain Bolt, no.
It's aimed for the disabled community, but obviously I will welcome anyone whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And the location will probably be Battersea Park, because it's flat and it works and there's accessible things there, because obviously you have to worry about like accessible toilets, changing rooms, things like that for everyone's needs. So Battersea will probably be the best place for it.
And for someone who is on wheelchairs, or they have a health problem and they can really see a way out, or how will you tell them to start running, for example? Like, how did you start running?
Like I say, like, I did my first 10K. And then a few weeks later, I got a place for the London Marathon. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's how it started, to be honest with you. And then I just kept doing more races and more races and more races. I was training, obviously, for the London Marathon. Mm-hmm. So I was training in the gym a lot. Yeah. And then, obviously, I completed the London Marathon, and I just haven't really stopped doing races from that, really. And I wouldn't sign up to do another marathon, but I just don't know which one yet. I'm hoping as well, it's kind of like 50-50. I may have a place for next year's London Marathon as well. So I may be taking it on again, but we don't know yet.
Do you think like it's also a routine? What kept you going? Also like having a specific routine, training every day?
Yeah, I followed a training plan, but the thing that I struggled with is it wasn't really an adaptive training plan. It was built for runners. Mm-hmm. So it would be like, I don't know, there'd be like leg exercises one day, and I'm like, what am I meant to do about that? So I had to adapt it differently with my coach. And the majority of the runs were out and about on like pavements and stuff, and it wasn't accessible. It didn't work for the wheelchair. I kept picking up punches. The foot plate kept breaking on my butt. It just was not suitable.
So many challenges that you had to overcome.
Yeah. So I ended up having to do most of my training in the gym, on the ski erg, and on the assault bike with just like the arms.
Yeah. And alone, you did everything alone.
Yeah.
So now you have a community. How has this helped you? Or had you have like a great impact in someone? What does your community say to you about what you post?
I get messages every day saying how inspirational I am and how people look up to me, and you know, I've had people follow me from my darkest moments to now, and they've seen the whole journey, and you know, they're so immensely proud of me. And I think it gives a lot of people hope, if anything, because I was in such a dark place and no one thought I was going to make it out of there alive. Like everyone
Nobody
thought,
had hopes, not even your family.
my family thought I was going to be the next person to succeed. I'd lost 5 friends to suicide, unfortunately. I lost a few recently as well.
Did you meet them in the hospital?
Yeah.
So
yeah. But everyone thought I was going to be the next person.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the reason why now I look at people with wheelchairs differently and I so inspired by them and everything, I'm also more aware also is because my mom, when she tried to take her own life, she had a complication infection in the legs because she was in induced coma and they had to amputate her legs.
Yeah.
And since then, my questions were how is she going to make it and how is she going to work, how she is not going to have a normal life anymore. And she didn't, she sadly passed away. But now I think, if I look back then, she would have had a good life maybe if she was alive. It doesn't mean that your life ends or you can have a normal life, because actually what is a normal life? I think
100%.
that you put in Google Maps walking distance, or you put everything is for normal people, but it doesn't mean I'm normal. You are normal, everyone is normal. So we just have to adapt. But also I think in a way society failed also your friends and failed you in many ways, because
100%.
it makes you feel like you are not normal. And
yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And I think one of the things that I realized when I became a wheelchair user is I thought my life was over for 4 years, like I said earlier. But if anything, my life wasn't over. My life hadn't finished. It was just a new way of life. It's just a different life.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be over. Anything could happen to anyone tomorrow, today, anything can happen.
Anything. That's why I told at the beginning of my introduction, just imagine yourself, because I think for people like me, we are able to walk or we are able to move. We never think about it, or how think that just waking up, moving your legs or something, and we were talking about this, we take it for granted. And even you are more able than people like me, because you can run. And also you told me one day you were going to meet a girl to the gym, and then she didn't make it because she had a headache.
Yeah, it's because she had a headache.
You're just complaining about a headache.
This is the thing that frustrates me. When people I feel like a lot of people in this life take things for granted, 100%. And I'm one of those people I could end up with, I don't know, say for example, I could become ill. I could end up having a cold. I'm still going to go to the gym. I'm still going to smash out a session, because at the end of the day, that's not going to stop me from doing what I want. And when people say, oh, but I can't do this and I can't do this. And I'm like, look, there's worse people in that situation. Mm-hmm. I look up to other people that could be in a more difficult situation. They could be paralyzed from the chest down and they could struggle with loads of different things, but they get on with it. Mm-hmm. So why can't I? Why can't that person with a headache,
Yeah. And also, have you ever thought well, I'm alive, I'm glad I didn't succeed in my attempts of suicide
100%.
because
100%.
Look at you now.
Yeah. If this is the thing, if I would have succeeded, there would have been so many things I wouldn't have been able to do.
You would have missed.
So I'm so grateful that I chose to stay, that I carried on. Don't get me wrong, recovery was hard. It still is. I'm still in recovery, of course. It's not easy. You still have your bad days, but it's how you deal with those bad days. Back then, I didn't deal with those days very well. But now I'm okay, it's a bad day today, but it's not a bad day tomorrow. So another quote that I also follow is, it's a bad day, not a bad life. Because you could have the worst day, and then who's to say tomorrow's not going to be your best day? Mm-hmm. You just don't know. So there's no point acting on that day when tomorrow could be the best day of your life.
Exactly, and it's a bad day, not a bad life.
Exactly.
We don't have to focus
100%.
so much in, you never know, like when something bad is going to happen, but also something really good is going to happen. So we always have to look forward to the future. And as you say back then, so what would you tell to that little self, your little self who was struggling? What would you tell her?
I would have just told her, you know, just hold on and wait, because really exciting things are coming your way. Like, I know it's hard and I know you're struggling, but just keep holding on, because the light is coming. That you're almost at the end of that tunnel, and the light's about to come, and crazy things are going to happen in your life.
That's beautiful. And what would you tell to other people who might be struggling because they found a diagnosis that negative one, or they are in the same situation as you and they have no hopes? What would you tell them?
The same quote is, it's a bad day, not a bad life. If you're in that kind of situation, you've been diagnosed with something and you're really struggling to push past it, I would say research other creators that have the same condition, see how they've changed their lives, and you might get inspired from it. You might end up doing some sort of challenge and changing for the better.
Mm-hmm. And so what are your hopes in 5 years? So for well, like, you are going to run like marathons everywhere.
I'm hoping.
What are your dreams?
I'm hoping to take on a few more marathons. I'm gonna say maybe another, let's say 5 marathons in the next 5 years. Let's say 5 marathons. I don't know how many races. I can't predict how many races I'm gonna do, because I'm crazy at all of those. But I want to take on a challenge. I want to take on a challenge that's not been done before by a wheelchair user. And I have no idea what that challenge is going to be yet. No idea. But it's going to be big. That's all I know. And yeah, I want to find something that's never been done by a wheelchair user that's so impressive that, I don't know, it breaks a world record. So that's kind of my next goal, I guess.
So yes, like, how will have you imagine like doing all of this now? And honestly, what also another question was your word of, like, what's your concept of resilience now? What does it mean, resilience, for you?
I think, to me, just to keep going. Like, every day is going to be a different day. Like, you don't know what opportunities are going to come. And like I said, I do still get tough days. I still have those days where, I don't know, I don't want to get out of bed. But then I think of the situation that I was in 4 years ago, and I reflect on that situation. And then I'm like, no, get up, get dressed, have a shower, have some.
That's how you motivate yourself?
Like, have some food, have some fuel, go to the gym, go get a workout done. Because when I was in that situation, I wasn't able to do those things. Like, I wasn't able to leave the room that I was in, because I was just so unstable. I couldn't leave. I wasn't allowed to leave. So I have all these opportunities and I have all these things that I can access now. So if I'm having a bad day, I'm like, no, because it's just a bad day. Like, let's turn it into a good day. Like, it could start really bad morning, for example, but who's to say by the end of the day you haven't had the best day? Like, you just got to go out there, and even when you don't feel like doing something, just go out there and do it. Like, even when you don't feel like going to the gym, I have so many days where I'm just like, I don't want to go to the gym. Like, I'm demotivated. I don't want to go. Like, it's too much effort. I'm like, no, take your pre-workout, go to the gym, go smash a session, and then you feel good about it. And then once you go into the gym, and then it's just like, wow, I feel really good. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. And just the productivity just comes straight away once you feel good.
Yeah, and what also, apart of, we talk a lot about the sports, but what are other things that bring you joy into your life?
I guess just the way that my life is at the moment, to be honest. You know, I'm able to do the races. I'm able to have incredible opportunities given to me. I work with some of the most incredible brands out there, and I think quite a few of my friends are quite jealous of some of the brands that I work with.
And well, or your school friends who kind of distance themselves from you, did they reach out to you after?
I had a few friends that reached out to me recently, and they're like, "Hey, like haven't spoken to you in ages. Like,
Now, yes,
maybe
now.
we should go for a coffee sometime, catch up." And I'm like, "You rejected me when I became disabled." I was like, "So I'm not interested."
Now you are the
They're
cool
interested
girl.
when you're doing well and you're doing really good for yourself, but it wasn't there, when your world was, torn apart. So they don't deserve to be in my life.
No,
They don't deserve the success that I'm getting. Absolutely not. They're not having a piece of it.
Yeah. What would you tell them now when you were in that position? Maybe you didn't speak out, you were just, but now that you have the courage, what would you tell them?
I'll just have to just leave me alone, to be honest. I'm just like, look, you made your bed, lie in it kind of thing. Like, you didn't want to be friends with me. See me at my best.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have me at my worst, so you don't deserve to see me at my best. But those people that did stick with me from when I was rock bottom to now, they deserve to see me at my best, but they don't. They're not worth it.
Yeah, that's like because you have like the strong mentality, and I think what made you overcome everything, even that people distancing them from you, and everything is like this go-getter mentality that you have. Is like you stop talking to me. You are not. You think I'm not going to succeed. Think I'm not going to achieve all its challenges.
Yeah.
So watch me, and I think that's the mindset everyone needs to have. Against every challenge in life. No, like, yes, you are
100%.
stronger than that, and you are the clear example of it.
Yeah, 100%. It's like you're stronger than your mind tells that you are.
Yeah.
Because your mind is such a powerful place. Like, to think that it put me in that position, that was all my mind. Technically, that wasn't me within myself. Obviously, I was heartbroken that I was in the situation that I was, but it was my mind that took over. And it was getting back in control of that and almost like controlling your mind in a different way. And it's like mind over matter. Like, now if I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. I'm like, yeah, okay, my mind's gonna be like that today, but tomorrow we're gonna have a bad day tomorrow.
Yeah, when those negative thoughts come into your mind, you have a bad day, how do you change it, or do you replace it with positive thoughts?
So it sounds really crazy, but I kind of accept it in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been like very aware of my emotions from when I was in the situation that I was to now. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm like, I don't know, really sad about something, I accept that sadness. Like, it's okay to cry. You're not weak if you cry. And I just have a little moment to myself, and I just kind of reflect on, okay, why am I feeling sad? And then just kind of move on from it. Like, if I force myself like to not have that emotion, then it will be like I'm not releasing that emotion. So I just learned to just kind of accept it there and then. Like, if I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm angry, I'm angry. It's just part of being human.
Yes.
If you don't show emotion, I would be concerned.
Yeah, but I think you are not a human. You are superhuman, and
Thank you.
Honestly, I really admire you so much. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank
to
you for
this.
inviting me.
Thank you for being so honest about your story, and also I hope it helps someone that is or were in the same situation as you were,
100%, yeah.
because there's a way out, and you are the clear example of it.
Thank
right?
you.
And how can they find you?
So I'm Poppy May Fitness on Instagram and on TikTok. So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, and the name of your run club, so people
it's
can reach you out more.
It's the Roll and Run Club, all one word, on Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok as well.
Yeah, and just remember that you can join. Doesn't matter if you don't have wheels or not. I want to remind you that you have to be considerate and to everyone, and yes, I hope like this also informed you a bit of what it's like to use a wheelchair, and that everything is possible
100%.
if you put your mind into it, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I hope this from this, it can inspire someone to not necessarily change, but to become a better person of themselves and to start recovery and, also be more aware of what it's like for a wheelchair user.
Yeah, and start sports. I think sports was
and
a major
start
thing
sports, go
in your
hit the
life.
gym,
It improves your mood, everything. I'm going to the gym after this because you motivated me so much, and you're going to like a race. So wow!
Thank you.
Just follow her if you want to see everything that she's doing, and you can follow me on Everybody's Lost podcast in Spotify or YouTube, and also on TikTok at Everybody's Lost. And if you want to follow me, she is Veronique on Instagram. Thank you so much again for watching and listening. Have a nice evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are listening us from. Adios.